Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me today as always. And it's a beautiful day in St. Louis, Missouri today. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and spring is here. Thank goodness. Today, we're going to continue the topic of how to raise your self-esteem. It's going to be a short one today because I got up late. Yes, I did. I got a new bed last night, or a different one. I slept all night. That's unusual for me. I usually wake up 2 or 3 times. Because living in a house with 6 kids, you very seldom ever have a night where it's completely quiet all night. But that's a whole nother video. We will continue on how to raise your self-esteem because everything comes from your concept of yourself. If you don't feel like you're good enough, if you don't feel like you deserve the best in life, guess what? You'll never have it. You have to believe that you are deserving as anyone, that you deserve to be wealthy, that you deserve to have more than enough. And the word wealth comes from an old Anglo-Saxon term, which means well-being. The original word was weal. As I said, it means well-being. Today, at least in the U.S., we connotate wealth with money. Of course, you have to have enough money to have a roof over your head, food in your stomach, and not be concerned about how you're going to pay your bills. But wealth is much more than an amount of money. There are people who are rich who are miserable, and there are people who are poor who are miserable. So wealth is more than money, and it's more than material possessions. It's okay to have things, as long as things don't have you. Can you walk away from your things and still be happy? Ask yourself that question. We all become attached to things, but if your attachment is so strong that if you lose that, is it going to make you miserable? Okay, we'll continue with self-esteem. Everything begins and ends within you. Your world is fashioned and formed by your concept of yourself. What do you believe you deserve? Think about that. Many people talk about meditation, contemplation. Contemplate on that for a while. Okay, we will finish up this article that I was reading from the Mayo Clinic. And it begins with, take care of yourself. Do you take care of yourself? Most people take better care of their cars than they do their bodies. You've only got one body, and you're going to live in it for the rest of your life, however long your life is. Okay. Follow good health guidelines. Try to exercise at least 30 minutes a day, most days of the week. Eat lots of fruits and vegetables. Limit sweets, junk food, and animal fats. And junk food includes McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell. Some people have a steady diet of these foods. They're full of sugars, fats, and not much vitamin value. Now on the menu, they'll have I think they call it nutritional value, which they only put the calories, but it doesn't show you what the vitamin level of this food is. And because it's all processed, I don't know the numbers, but I would say it's incredibly low. So if you're living on a steady diet of this type of food, you can't expect to feel good, or you can't expect to feel well, or feel wealthy if you like. You wouldn't expect your car to run well if you put bad gas in it, but yet people constantly feed themselves with food that is less than optimal, and then they wonder why they're depressed, they don't feel good, they don't feel like they want to do anything. They have to take a drink every day, or drink every day, more than one drink to feel good. They have to take antidepressants. They have to take some kind of medication because their body just isn't functioning properly. Now, I'm not against medication, so Don't just throw your medication away. Medication has saved many lives, but it has also killed many people. Look up the statistics on how many people die each year from the medicine that is supposed to help them. There's a lot of people, okay? And it saves a lot of people too. So it's not, there's always a negative and a positive side to everything. But you could bypass a lot of this medication or going to the doctor with a healthy diet and exercise. It's just common sense. Take care of your body. If you're overweight, exercise, eat less, get into shape. Find out what it is within you that is making you want to eat so much that you are carrying a lot of weight around. It's never the fact that you're hungry. There's always something inside of you. You're eating for comfort eating. I've done it, so I understand. I had a weight problem many years ago. Now, I wasn't that heavy. I was about 25 pounds heavier than I am now, but that's considered obese. And I'm telling you, carrying that extra weight around was difficult. And I didn't like the way I looked. I felt bad about myself, but I was eating to cover up a lot of guilt, shame, remorse, feeling not good enough, low self-esteem, low self-worth, all of these things. Any addiction that you have is usually something you're using to cover up feelings or emotions or guilt or shame or regret or remorse, any number of these emotional things that you need to get out and deal with and face and feel them and take whatever action is necessary to clean up your past, whether it be offenses against yourself or someone else, because you have to live with these things. Very important. And the more of these things that you have to try to live with, the more likely you are to develop some type of addiction to avoid looking at it or dealing with it or feeling it. Do things you enjoy. Start by making a list of things you like to do. Try to do something from that list every day. What do you like to do? Do you like to socialize, but yet you're sitting behind a computer all day? Do you like to meet new people, but yet you're sitting behind your Xbox all day? That's a real issue nowadays, is people on the computer all day, or their whole life is on social media. And as you probably know, social media can be somewhat, to use a relative popular word today, toxic. There are many people on there who like to argue with you, or are, how do they call them, keyboard warriors. You've got the haters out there. I have people who comment on things I say, and for no reason at all, they'll say something to try to yank my chain, or I guess upset me or offend me. But the best response you can give to people like this is no response. And if you're one of those people who like to troll the internet to try to cut someone down, but if you are, you wouldn't be watching me probably. But if you are, ask yourself, why are you doing that? Why are you picking apart someone else who's out there trying to do something with their life? What are you doing with your life? Okay? Now, spend time with people who make you happy. Don't waste time on people who don't treat you well. How many times do people get into relationships where they try and try to make someone happy? Well, you can't make anyone happy. Happiness is an inside job, and only you can do that, and only the person that you are trying to make happy can make themselves happy. You will drive yourself insane trying to make someone else happy. It is an impossible task. So the most important thing I can tell you, it's just like when they tell you to put your mask on first if you're in the airplane and the oxygen mask falls down. You must put yours on first before you can help someone else. Make yourself happy, and then more than likely the people that are around you will be happy too. And if they're not, they will eventually leave your life, because we attract what we are and we become who we are around. So if you're around someone who's dragging you down, I would suggest that you get away from them. But when you get away from them, I would suggest that you ask yourself why this person was attracted into your life, because there must be some negativity or unhappiness inside of you. Otherwise, you would have not drawn that person to you. Okay, that's all we have time for today. That wraps up the article from the Mayo Clinic on raising your self-esteem. We may continue this tomorrow because self-esteem is so important, self-worth. If you find people in your life treating you badly or devaluing you, first you have done that to yourself. No one can treat you in any other way than you have first treated yourself. If you're in a relationship where you're being devalued or treated with treated badly, or you're always giving and giving, but the other person doesn't give nearly as much as you, why are you in a relationship such as that? Relationships are reciprocal, or they should be anyway. And if they're not, you need to exit. Because there are some people who will take, and never give back to you. Okay, I believe in giving freely and for fun and for free. But it's a good idea when you're in a continuous relationship with a significant other to watch and be aware of what is coming back to you. Now, it's not a tit for tat, but if you're always giving, and that person doesn't reciprocate and give back to you, then this may not be a relationship that is healthy for you. So find someone who is a giver. If you're a giver, find someone who's a giver. But remember, are you giving to get in this relationship? That's an important thing to ask yourself, because that is the wrong reason. You have to give for free, but be aware of what is being given back to you. It's a fine line when it's an intimate relationship. It's easy to go out here and give to someone you don't know and not expect anything back, and to know that life will give it back to you, or God, or the universe, or your higher self. But when you're with someone in an intimate relationship, whether it be your parents, your children, your significant other, very important to see what's coming back to you. I have kids. Some of them really give, and some of them just want to take, and they don't want to give. So in this case, it's my job to teach them that you need to be reciprocal. Why should I give you something when you're not going to provide any service to me? If my kids come and ask me for money, the ones that I'm liable to just give it to easiest first are the ones that do things around the house, okay? They're part of the family. They're part of this unit, which is like a small government. What are they providing for the family? What are they giving back to the family? Okay, can they expect to get anything from the collective, from the family, if they're not giving, if they're not providing service, if they're not cleaning or taking the trash out or doing something? So that's what I try to teach my children, is the value of service. Service is very important. Service brings you and I fulfillment. That's where fulfillment comes from, is providing service. That's where riches and wealth come from. Inner wealth and outer material wealth is providing service. Look at some of the most wealthy people as far as money goes and material possessions in the world. Look at what they provide for humanity. Okay, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining me. Smash that like button, subscribe. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.